In a stunning and brutal move that's sending shockwaves across Hollywood, Netflix has reportedly told Meghan Markle and Prince Harry in no uncertain terms, "We are tired of you." That's not a headline. It's the actual message insiders say was delivered straight to the Sussex camp after Meghan allegedly pleaded for a second season of her underwhelming Netflix series. Remember that $100 million deal signed in 2020? It was supposed to be a new era for the ex-royals turned content creators. But 4 years later, Netflix is done playing along. Sources close to the matter say Meghan floated promises of a softer, more relatable brand direction, pitched a storyline she hoped would win back viewers, and most shockingly, requested another financial boost to fund the comeback. But Netflix wasn't buying any of it. The mood in the boardroom? Cold. Final. Done, this isn't just a rejection. It's the clearest signal yet that the tide has officially turned. The once bankable Sussex brand has become, in the eyes of executives, a costly, unrelenting PR storm with little return on investment. This story isn't about a failed show. It's about Hollywood finally saying what many have whispered for years. The narrative is exhausted, the drama's gone stale, and Meghan Markle's second act just got canceled, before it even started. When Meghan and Harry inked that 5-year deal with Netflix back in 2020, the hype was astronomical. Fresh off their royal exit and armed with global curiosity, the pair were expected to deliver gripping documentaries, inspiring stories, and unique perspectives. But instead of substance, Netflix executives got scrambling meetings, shifting concepts, and a growing sense of disorganization behind the scenes. WithLoveMeghan, the latest installment, was a ratings dud. Critics panned it, viewers tuned out. And now, according to insiders, Netflix feels the entire partnership has been more trouble than it's worth. Rather than consistent content delivery, the company found itself managing celebrity chaos and crisis PR, hardly what they signed up for. Executives reportedly grew weary of the couple's changing demands, missed deadlines, and an overarching sense that Meghan was chasing the idea of stardom more than delivering on it. The message became clear. No matter the size of the paycheck, no brand is worth this level of unpredictability. And when Netflix, a platform that thrives on big names, decides you're a liability, the fallout isn't just about your next show getting axed. It's a reputational hit that could slam the door shut across an entire industry. Sources say Meghan's attempt to revive her Netflix prospects came with more than just a storyline pitch. She reportedly asked for money up front, not as a production budget, but essentially as a loan. No green light, no finished script, no confirmed demand from viewers, just a bet that her name could still carry the weight it once did. But Netflix wasn't playing. This wasn't 2020. The executives had seen the data, felt the backlash, and read the reviews. There was no appetite left to gamble on another round of Sussex drama. What's worse, Meghan allegedly framed the cash request as development funds. But behind closed doors, insiders say it was little more than a bailout, a final attempt to keep the brand afloat. And this time, the charm offensive fell flat. The executives, once willing to buy into the Sussex mythos, had reached a breaking point. No more sympathy, no more hype. Just cold, hard reality. Netflix made the call. Absolutely not. The move wasn't just a rejection. It was a severing of ties. And in an industry where reputation is everything, the optics of this kind of snub are lethal. Meghan didn't just lose a show. She may have lost her last major lifeline in Hollywood. Let's be honest. Meghan and Harry built their post-royal brand on rebellion, revelation, and a heavy dose of public vulnerability. It worked for a while. The Oprah interview lit the internet on fire. The docuseries drove viewership. The memoir Spare generated headlines worldwide. But over time, the content got repetitive. The narrative, we were mistreated, misunderstood, and want to heal, began to wear thin. Audiences started tuning out. Not because the issues weren't serious, but because the delivery felt stuck in a loop. Netflix caught on. Viewers weren't engaging. Critics were bored. And the couple's once dynamic storytelling began to look more like brand maintenance than innovation. It's not that people stopped caring, it's that they started caring less. And in Hollywood, that's fatal. Executives now see the Sussex brand as drama without depth, headlines without payoff. Even their causes, worthy as they might be, are being dismissed as performative. Without a fresh narrative or new creative spark, the brand has lost its shine. What used to be revolutionary now feels entitled, directionless, and worst of all, forgettable. While the public saw glamour and controversy, those inside Netflix saw something very different: chaos. Sources say the couple routinely missed scheduled meetings, couldn't settle on consistent creative concepts, and often changed direction midstream. Production teams grew frustrated. Executives lost patience. And Meghan, in particular, was described as someone who still viewed herself as Hollywood royalty, expecting red carpets while others cleaned up the mess. It wasn't just about poor communication. It was about a fundamental lack of commitment to the process. Unlike seasoned producers or showrunners, Meghan and Harry reportedly didn't put in the work behind the scenes to back up their ideas. Concepts were floated, then abandoned. Meetings were held, then rescheduled. The clock kept ticking, and the content didn't come. By the time With Love, Meghan limped onto the platform. The damage was already done. Netflix knew the audience wasn't there, and the faith internally had already evaporated. The rejection of a second season was less a decision and more an inevitability. When you don't show up to build the product, don't be shocked when the shop closes its doors. Once upon a time, Meghan Markle was a symbol of modern royalty breaking barriers, fighting for justice and redefining power. But 4 years later, that narrative has soured. The same media outlets that once championed her are now stepping back. Executives who once offered open doors are closing them. And the public that once defended her every move is now saying, enough. The problem? The narrative never evolved. Meghan keeps circling the same story: family betrayal, media harassment, and personal healing, without offering a new angle or deeper introspection. And in today's content-hungry world, repetition is a killer. Even the most sympathetic viewers have started asking, what's the end game? Where's the growth? The rejection from Netflix isn't just a business decision, it's a cultural temperature check. The fatigue is real, the clicks are down, and the world, it seems, is moving on. Meghan's latest Hollywood plea landed not as a comeback, but as a cry for relevance. And in an industry where perception is everything, desperation reads louder than ambition. As Meghan tried to push her Netflix narrative forward, Harry, according to insiders, quietly stepped back. The once united duo now appears split in strategy. Harry's media tour has cooled off, no more podcast circuits, no fresh explosive interviews, and fewer public appearances. Those close to the couple say even he is growing tired of the constant battle for public sympathy. He's done the memoir. He's aired the grievances. And maybe, just maybe, he's starting to question whether any of it actually worked. Meanwhile, Meghan doubled down. She returned to Netflix with a pitch that lacked fire and a request for cash that lacked credibility. And that contrast, Harry stepping away while Meghan digs in, might be the clearest sign yet of internal friction. If even PrinceHarry, the co-architect of this media revolution, is retreating from the spotlight, what does that say about the brand's future? Hollywood is watching. So is the public. And every move now is under a microscope. When one half of the partnership checks out and the other clings tighter, the imbalance becomes glaring. And imbalance never plays well on screen. Netflix didn't just say no to Meghan. They drew a line in the sand. "We are tired of you" wasn't a polite decline. It was a verdict, a warning, a statement of exhaustion from a platform that prides itself on taking risks, but only when there's a clear return. And Meghan's pitch? No script, no market demand, no evolution. Just another chapter in the same old story. For Netflix, that's no longer a gamble worth taking. And in doing so, they've set a new industry tone. If Netflix, a streaming giant known for big bets, is out, who's next to walk away? PR teams are already distancing themselves. Studios are going quiet. The once hot Sussex brand is cooling by the day. This isn't just a failed negotiation. It's the start of a reckoning. And other companies are watching closely to see if they should follow suit. In a post-pandemic Hollywood obsessed with content, there's no more room for placeholders. Either you deliver, or you're done. The saddest part of this story isn't just the fall. It's the missed opportunity. Meghan and Harry had it all. The world's attention, a massive platform, and a rare chance to shape narratives on their own terms. But instead of building, they defended. Instead of innovating, they repeated. And instead of proving their value, they clung to old headlines. Netflix saw it for what it was, hype with no horsepower. And now, with Hollywood turning its back and the public tuning out, Meghan's road to redemption just got a lot harder. If she wants to remain relevant, she'll have to stop chasing sympathy and start earning substance. The game has changed. Fame without value is no longer enough. Clout doesn't convert when the content is hollow. And name recognition without credibility? It's just noise. Meghan Markle isn't at a crossroads. She's at the edge. One more misstep, and the comeback becomes a cautionary tale. Because in Hollywood, you don't just need a story. You need to be worth the spotlight.